This week, Ohio will see a trial in what is allegedly the biggest bribery scandal in the history of the state, which is saying a lot given how much corruption we've seen of late in Ohio, and often thought of as the most corrupt state in the country, unfortunately. But voters have honestly not really gotten this bribery scandal. It hasn't broken through politically, and I want to explain it a little bit. But I also want to explain how what happened here is literally a perfect example of the deeper corruption of state houses, which have ceased to be places of public service, in large part because of gerrymandering, and have become a place where basically private players grab public benefits for themselves and give a portion of those benefits back to the politicians. That's what this, in the end, is about. So we had the bill called HB 6, where more than $1 billion of public funds, largely fueled by energy bills that everyday taxpayers and Ohioans pay, and that was put into a package of a bailout for a private company. Now, it turns out the private company showered money onto politicians that pushed for that bill, and the corruption case is all about the fact that some portion of that money actually allegedly went to personally benefit the Speaker of the Ohio House at the time. So that's the scandal. Public goods paid by Ohioans into private profit. Now, if you hear that, the truth is, everything I just described, that's how policy, quote-unquote policy, is done in Ohio. Almost every major issue that's been debated in Ohio that isn't one of these culture war issues goes back to this pattern. For-profit schools is all about giving public funds to these schools, which give back enormous amounts of money to the politicians in their campaign accounts. Payday lending, the public good is that they're giving is less tight regulation. Money goes back to the politicians. That led to another speaker resigning. Sports betting recently, story just came out. $1 million plus flowed back. Other energy interests, same thing. Even the collection of debts in Ohio, that money is turned into millions for the politicians from the debt collection. Gerrymandering, it turns out, is big business for these interests. Without the accountability in states like Ohio, this basic corruption of public service gets worse and worse and worse.